Okay, so today we're going to take everything we learned and put it all together for our worksheet. Okay, right here. We're going to find the common multiples, all right? So we're going to add and subtract the mixed numbers in order to get an answer. All right, now, if you remember, I said there are two ways. So let's start with adding. All right, so we have 2 1/4 and 1 1/5. This block here, since this is not printed off, you really don't need to type here. You have to write this on another sheet of paper. You're going to put your answer up here. Now, since we are adding, I'm going to go ahead and get this number out of the way. 2 plus 1 is 3. I'm done with these numbers. Okay. Now I'm going to find lowest common multiples. So 4. 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16. And 4 times 5 is 20. Okay. I'm not going to write out my 5s because I know nothing times 5 is 4. Nothing times 5 is 8. Nothing times 5 is 12. Nothing times 5 is 16. But I do know 5 times 4 is 20. I can do my 5s in my head. 5, 10, 15, 20. Right? That's the first one that matches. So I'm going to take each of these numbers to 20. Now your job is to find the number, the fraction that goes in the middle. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know 5 times 4 is 20, but it's not just 5, it's 5 over 5. Remember, it has to be a fraction that is equal to 1. All right, and so inversely, I know that 4 times 5 is 20, so it has to be 4 over 4. And yes, that's a 4. It may look a little bit like a 9, but it is a 4. All right. And now I'm going to multiply. 1 times 5 is 5. And I'm going to remultiply the bottom just to make sure I didn't make a mistake. 4 times 5 is 20. Good. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Okay. Now I'm going to add. 5 plus 4 is 9 over 20. Now, when you get to this point, you always have to say, is this improper? Is it improper?
No.
No. So I'm good. My answer is 3 9/20. I also have to say, can this be reduced? Well, the factors of 9 are 1 times 9, and nothing times 9 is 18. And then 3 times 3, and nothing, sorry, let me get that off. Nothing times 3 is 20. So this is in simplest form. So up here, you would type 3 space 9/20. Now, if this was improper, then I'm just going to pretend. Let's say my answer was 3 21 over 20. The top number is bigger than the bottom, so this is improper. What do we do when you're improper? So 21 divided by 20 is 1. Subtract and get 1. And then you're going to, that is less than 20, so I'm going to write it as a fraction, 1 over 20. But since it was 3 21 over 20, you have to add the 3 to it. So your answer is 4. Because you're going to have to say 3 plus 1. And so it's 4 1 over 20. All right. Now, could you do this with the triangle method? Yes, you could. But then you would have had, whoops, excuse me. Instead of, it would have just been a bigger number. You would have had 99 over 20, and you would have threw it in the bracket. All right. So if you want to do the triangle method, I'm going to remind you how to do the triangle method when we get to a subtraction problem. You can do triangle method every time. It's just your numbers on top are going to be bigger before you throw them in the bracket. All right, so we're going to do one without the triangle method and one with the triangle method. So we're going to do this one without the triangle method. So we're on subtraction B, 4 2/5 and 3 3/4. We're subtracting. So again, you can say 4 minus 3 is 1. Okay, you're done with that for now. Now we're going to find common denominators. Well, we just did 4 and 5s on the last one. The lowest common multiple is not going to change. If you've got 4 and 5, that lowest common multiple is going to be 20. And that means we're still going to multiply by 4 over 4. Ooh, my 4s look good that time. And we're going to multiply by 5 over 5. Two times 4 is 8. 3 times 5 is 15. 8 minus 15. Can't do it. If you hold it up 8 fingers, you cannot take away 15 fingers. All right? So you have to subtract from the top number. You can't just say, oh, this one's bigger, so 15 minus 8. No, it's always the top number minus the bottom number. So we can't do it. So we are going to have to borrow. All right? So that means I'm taking away from this 1. And since there's only 1, I take 1 away from 1. It's nothing. Okay? Now, some people like to do this. I find it easy. Because 1 is going to be 20 over 20. Because you're always going to use the same denominator. And a 1 is any number over itself. So I can say plus 20 over 20 is 28 over 20. Or you can just say, oh, I'm going to add right here 20 and 8 and get 28. That way you don't even have to think about what fraction to use. You're just going to add that bottom number to the top number and get 28 over 20 and subtract 15 over 20. 8 minus 5 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. 13 over 20. The only two numbers for 13 are 1 and 13, and nothing times 13 is 20. So you enter it 13/20, 13 over 20. Now, that is the borrowing method. This is the triangle method. All right. 3 1/5 minus 2 1/4 triangle. We got 5, 3, 1. We're going to times here, add here. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16 over 5. All right, triangle here. 4, 2, 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9 over 4. Well, as luck would have it, we're still dealing with 5 and 4. So I know I'm going to 20. As luck would have it, I did it right over here. So I know it's going to be 4 over 4 and 5 over 5. All right. So then I'm going to say, ooh, 16 times 4. That's a big number. So you're going to have to get a piece of paper, work it out, and find out 16 times 4 is 64. And then you're going to have to come down here and say 9 times 5, 45. All right. Now, I really can't do this in my head. I've got 64. If I tried hard, maybe I could. But if I do it in my head, I'm more likely to get it wrong. Okay. So I come over here to the side. 64 minus 45. I have to borrow. Make this 5. Make that 14. 14 minus 5 is 9. 5 minus 4 is 1. So I got 19 over 20. Okay, is this proper or improper?
Proper.
It's proper, so I don't need to throw it in the bracket. I'm just going to come up here and put my answer in as 19/20. All right, now, could I have borrowed over here? Yes. It would have been a little bit smaller numbers. Could I have used triangle method over here? Yes. All right, so you can use either method and still get the correct answer. But like up top, when it is a bigger number, that's all it means. You're going to end up having some bigger numbers. Both method works. Find the one that works for you and do it. But adding and subtracting are exactly alike until the very last step. And when it's subtraction, you subtract the numerators. Denominators stay the same. When it's addition, you add the numerators and the denominators stay the same. That's the only difference. Lots of steps. Take your time. The steps are in your notes. Get them out and review it. And good luck and happy math.